We're seeing a secret bull run play out in the crypto space that almost nobody is paying attention to. And I think it's kind of wild because a lot of the reason that, in my opinion, people aren't paying attention to it is I think because it runs kind of counter to what we've come to expect out of crypto, which is rampant speculation, a whole bunch of narrative driven plays, things like that. And also being able to make money, right? And the kind of nature of this thing is completely against what normally we do in crypto, which is making money. And this is all revolving around stable coins, because stable coins we've seen absolutely explode in crypto. And they're one of the things that in my mind is probably found the greatest like product market fit or like adoption into the real world that we've seen out of anything in crypto. Obviously in crypto, we hear things about DeFi, DePIN, RWAs, smart contracts, all this type of stuff. But we haven't really ever seen, gaming's another one, but like we haven't really ever seen any of this like actually break into the mainstream. It's a lot of just kind of limited kind of tech demos and people speculating on what could be, but not really ever getting to the point where we're finding the actual solution here, right? And so I think that this is important to note because what we're seeing out of stablecoins is things that are actually very, very valuable. They're coming to the forefront and helping drive adoption within crypto. And so I think this is very important because of all of the repercussions that this can have in the longer term. So I want to talk a little bit about stablecoins today and why so many people I think are ignoring it and really shouldn't be, because while what's happening right now may not be particularly interesting, I think what comes next could be very, very major for the crypto space. So let's go on ahead. We'll talk about it. We can see here on DeFi Llama, $242 billion is the stablecoin market cap, which is pretty impressive. This would be the third largest crypto asset if you were to pile all these together, only behind Ethereum and Bitcoin. I imagine this outstripping Ethereum very, very quickly and potentially even getting up closer towards the market cap of Bitcoin as we continue to see further adoption. We can see an additional 628 million added in the past 7 days, which is 0.25% growth. Pretty impressive overall as well. We're also seeing USDT. I mean, USDT still basically kind of runs the stablecoin game with almost 62% dominance here. Also, if we see here on the 30-day, we can see almost 4% up at $9 billion added to the stablecoin market cap in the past month, which is very impressive. That's quite substantial growth here. And what we can see is we can also see the number of stablecoins actually really growing, and the number of stablecoins actually like sponsored by legitimate institutions continually growing. So of course, what we are seeing here is Tether, of course, number one. I don't think anybody really doubts that. We could see on a ton of different chains. USDC second. We can actually see even on more chains, which is pretty impressive. I mean, this is a quite the list here. But then after that, we've got Athena, we've got SkyDollar, we've got DAI, we've got BlackRock stablecoin, we've got World Liberty Financial stablecoin, we've got another Athena coin, we've got First Digital, we got PayPal, we've got Ondo. I mean, there's so many going through here. We've got Ripple down here. I mean, there's so many different stablecoins coming into the market because it's such a cash cow. I mean, Tether is a company of like 50 people and they make like, I think they made more last year than BlackRock did with 50 people. And BlackRock has like 10,000 or 100,000 or something like that, some ridiculous number. So that's the power of stablecoins that we've been seeing here. And it's really, really crazy. So what I want to take a look at, or what we're seeing here, is obviously massive growth. If we look at kind of the end of 2023, we can see the stablecoin market cap was about 127 billion. It's about double that now. So we've seen this double in about a year and a half's time. Really impressive. And there's continually more and more like legislation and all of that type of stuff going along to try and help regulate stablecoins. Now, of course, can't really speculate on stablecoins. If you look, obviously the way you trade in and out of everything is through stablecoins. So I think that's why a lot of like the retail crypto market has ignored it, because you can't speculate and make money off of it. But if you are interested in trading, I do have those links in the description below for trading out of all of these, various different crypto assets that I'm sure you know and have heard of. As you can see here, we're doing quite well here with, XRP up over 200%, SUI up over 100%, Ondo getting close to 50, Bitcoin close to 30, really doing quite well, especially after we've seen the pump coming over these past couple of days. things are looking nice. So, we'll kind of see how that ends up working out over the next several weeks. But if you are interested, obviously BTCC is a partner of the channel for quite some time. They are doing 10% bonuses on first-time deposits, as well as up to $10,055 in trading bonuses or deposit bonuses as well, and no VPN or KYC required if that is something that you are interested in. I've got all the links in the description below. If you are interested, just feel free to get signed up. But the other thing I want to take a look at here is if we look at the stable coins and we look at, like, let's just say Bitcoin. Bitcoin for the past 6 months or so has really kind of been staying in the same place. I mean, we can see price here is a little bit higher, just barely, from what we were seeing kind of on like November of 2024, right? I mean, so really not really a whole lot going on there. But if we look at November of 2024 right here, we can see market cap's at 173 billion. It's now at almost 250 billion. It's been up only for the whole time. We've seen the rest of crypto basically just kind of stagger around and not really do a whole lot. And I think a lot of the reason for that is because of all of the like innovations that stablecoins can provide. So if we see here, this is actually a post by Taryn. I will actually like and repost this just in case you guys want to take a little bit a closer look at this. I do have that link to my X account in the description below. You can go check that out there as well. But you can see here, like, this is what stablecoins can enable. So if you're going stablecoin to stablecoin, the transaction cost is 0 to 2 basis points. Very, very minimal. We can see settlement time is basically instant. And then we can see here, you can send it anywhere in the world. And then there's all the various use cases and solution types. I don't want to spend too much time going over all this, but I'll just kind of give high level examples of how this would work, right? I mean, this is like USDT to USDC, company A to company B. Very simple. If we look here, there's an alternative option, which would be stablecoin to fiat. Of course, this is going to cost a little bit more because you've got to transition on and off crypto, like the crypto rails. And that's going to be anywhere between 5 and 50 basis points, like orders of magnitude more than what we're seeing out of stablecoin to stablecoin. And it's between instant and 2 hours, depending on kind of how crypto friendly your bank is. So you can see here, USDT to USD/euros, anywhere in the EU, Singapore, Hong Kong, Dubai, or the UAE, all that type of stuff. But it does depend on kind of like how crypto friendly your bank is, because otherwise, I mean, sometimes it could even be more than 2 hours, just depending on what type of banking situation you're dealing with. And then of course, fiat to stablecoin, similar type of movement, but just a different direction. Going to be same in fees, going to be same in timing. Again, depends on how kind of crypto friendly your bank is. And then here you've got USD to euro, moving back to USDT. So again, same type of thing. This is really good for paying people internationally, particularly if you're from the US or the EU. And then of course you've got fiat to fiat. The most expensive option, 15 to 70 basis points, which again, stablecoin to stablecoin, it's like so much more, up to 35 times more expensive. And then we could see instant to 5 hours. Again, it depends on your bank. Can sometimes even be longer than that. If you're doing an ACH, that can be up to 2 business days. If you're trying to do wires, usually that's kind of I've never seen a wire go through instantly, but that's usually around like the 2 to 5 hour range. There's a lot of like unnecessary time and delay and all of this type of stuff involved with doing fiat to fiat transfers, which if you were just doing stablecoin to stablecoin, it removes so much of that friction here. And so that is why I think we're seeing such a major move out of stablecoins. And what we can see is there's a continued push from the US government and the current administration to try and actually drive stablecoin adoption and stablecoin legislation. We can see here the Senate actually voted down the Genius Act, which is, in my opinion, very stupid. I don't understand why these senators have a resistance to actually like following innovation. It was very clear to me, having gone to Token and having gone to Dubai, there's plenty of other parts of the world that are actually embracing this new type of technology. And it's clear to see just how much of a head start they have in terms of developing, kind of like being the place to go for crypto. And the US is, in my opinion, really missing a major opportunity here. And I hope that they can get their crap figured out and, start to actually drive real adoption and real legislation, because of course, the US is the US if they kind of get their stuff figured out and we can continue to move along and actually drive some real like crypto regulation and kind of rules of the road for operating in crypto, the US can, of course, become the crypto capital of the world. I don't even think that's much of a controversial thing to say, but there is a lot of things that have to happen with that. And so far, we're not quite seeing that. And so that's just what I want to talk about a little bit today is, in my mind, watching stable coins is kind of the proxy for understanding how the crypto world is going to onboard the rest of the world. Because to me, stable coins are how you do it. That's where you start. And then from there, like, if you don't have stable coins, how do you do DeFi, right? I mean, it's kind of difficult to like really push DeFi to the mass market without the like fiat to crypto payment rails. There's a lot of companies working really hard to get this sorted. But to me, this is going to be kind of like the canary in the coal mine for how far out real true crypto adoption actually is. And so that's why I want to talk about that today. Of course, as I mentioned, stable coins may not be the sexiest thing in the world as it relates to crypto, especially, but I think it's incredibly important. I think it cannot be understated how important it is actually to make sure that we're understanding what's going on in the crypto space and as it relates to stablecoins. It's very, very important here. So anyway, that's kind of what I want to go over today. Hopefully you found the information in this video useful. If so, a like and a subscribe really, really does help me out. Obviously, given the recent market and everything, it is quite difficult to grow a channel given the, sideways and down and choppiness, and nothing too crazy has been happening. So if you have found this useful, please a like and a subscribe really, really does help me out. And then also, if you have any comments, questions, thoughts, feelings, anything like that, just drop those in the comment section below as well. I do try to read and respond to all of those. So anyway, thank you guys for tuning in, and we'll see you in the next one.